What's up, guys? Brian Penamani with Penamani Physical Therapy and Wellness Center. Today we're going to start a functional movement series and show you how to assess shoulder mobility and upper thoracic mobility. Remember, how you move determines how you feel. Upper extremity and thoracic mobility don't just apply to throwing athletes, they apply to everyone. If you have limited shoulder mobility and upper thoracic extension, you're potentially losing lung capacity because of reduced ability for your lungs to expand during the inhale, as well as rounding your shoulders, throwing your posture out of alignment, causing upper back pain and shoulder weakness. When assessing functional mobility, mobility must always precede stability. So if you don't have good joint mobility in any joint you're assessing, it's senseless to even try to start stabilizing the joint until you get as maximal of motion as you can. It's not realistic to expect to normalize movement in all cases. Age, arthritis, previous injuries, joint replacements, all of those things have a factor in that. So you need to restore the joint motion as best you can or as normal as you can for that person. Just realizing that mobility is critical before you start to try to stabilize or strengthen the joint. All right, guys, so this 180-degree shoulder test is a wonderful way for you just to do a self-assessment and check out your range of motion. You need to do this assessment because you may have one side that's more limited in either external rotation or internal rotation. Then you need to determine, is it your joint that can't move or is it muscular tightness? If it's muscle tightness, you can do some stretches or some PNF patterns and things like that to help stretch that out, which we'll get to. But right now, you just need to kind of assess to see, do you have normal motion? Can you get full internal and full external rotation? If you feel some tightness in there, you can always take a little towel roll, put it right down between your shoulder blades, and just hold that position. That's going to get you a little bit of thoracic extension. It's going to stretch out your pecs a little bit or your chest muscles a little bit, and then you can kind of work back into that mobility. You can kind of see on his left side, he's got a little tightness coming back into internal rotation. This is a wonderful way to do it on the floor or your bed at home. Another assessment for the shoulder girdle to see about movement or mobility patterns is taking your arm in an external rotation over your head and trying to touch the upper portion of your opposite shoulder blade. He's got good mobility here. He doesn't have to throw his head too far forward to clear that. And then the next one is going to be moving up from behind and trying to get here. This is for the internal rotation assessment. So you look at internal and external rotation laying down like we just did with the 180 test. And then we're doing this standing up where we're doing external and internal rotation over the top. If there are some mobility issues in here, moving right to left and external to internal rotation, we're going to show you a couple good stretches that'll help you free up some of that tightness in that joint capsule. So if that shoulder of yours has some joint mobility issues in that external and internal rotation, you can use an easy bath towel when you get out of the shower or the bath every day to put a little extra stretch on those joints to improve that mobility of the shoulder. So all you're going to do for external and internal rotation here, you're going to grab that towel and you're just going to stretch that over, put a little overpressure on that to stretch it so you're getting that hand over towards this shoulder blade region. Then you're going to do just the opposite and you're going to pull that other shoulder into internal rotation and you're going to try to get that stretched up. So you're going to put a good stretch on that interior rotation portion of the shoulder. And then you're going to just alternate. Now, if you want to put a little bit of proprioceptive feedback into that, hold down and put a little pressure coming up, where you're just kind of loading that and you're putting a little muscle tension through that. And then as you relax, pull that stretch down a little bit more. So it's more of a contract, relax. And then the same thing goes with internal rotation. Bring it up. Put a little tension on there, contract, and then as you relax, pull it up further. So we're going to stretch that joint, get more shoulder mobility so that that range of motion in your shoulder is full range of motion and there's no restricted movement, and that also will help extend that thoracic spine a little bit as well. Now, in most cases, when we're dealing with shoulder mobility issues, we have to look at some thoracic extension as well, because in most cases, when you have some limited shoulder mobility, thoracic extension is also limited. Now we can do a deep dive into thoracic rotation and flexion as well, but that's for another video. Today we're just going to show the effects of some thoracic extension and also how to assess that and some quick tips on how you can fix that at home. Everybody has a bath towel at home, so if you don't have a foam roll, you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of expensive crap to do this. Just roll up a towel, put this perpendicular to your spine so that you have it in the areas of that upper thoracic so that we can get some extension. Now for today, we're gonna use this nice little roller here, and I can put some links in the description if you want it. Don't really care. Your towel roll does great, just fine. This gives you some firmness. So you're gonna just put your hands behind your head. I call this the TV watcher's position because he's in some external rotation. So we're getting some rotation in the shoulder, and wherever you feel that thoracic tightness is where you're gonna wanna place that roll, whether it's a towel roll or whether it's this roll. So we're gonna move that, you're gonna hold that for a little bit, then you can bring your elbows together and then come up a little bit into flexion. And then move that up, and you're just gonna work yourself into that extension a little bit where you're holding that for 10 to 15 seconds, getting a little nice extension through that spine. Take some great deep breaths to kind of expand that chest, get some full breaths into those lungs, and then just bring yourself back into flexion a little bit, go from there. Repeat that 4 or 5 times. It'll only take you a couple minutes, but it doesn't hurt to do that good stretch every day because most of us are sitting in a flexed posture at work, and sitting is killing us, to be quite honest with you. You're looking at a computer, you're looking at your tablet, you're looking at your phone all day long. We're not extending our spine, which is just killing us, and it's limiting our mobility throughout our spine as well as our shoulders. So take time every day to get yourself into some extension and do some self-assessments. That's the best thing you can do to see how you're moving or how you're not moving. Remember, mobility precedes stability. So if you don't move well, you're gonna have a heck of a time transitioning your body into strengthening or flexibility exercises if those joints don't move how they're supposed to. I like to hang out in that functional squat position daily. Now I like to hang out in this body position every day, the little functional squat, or I like to call it the third world squatting position, just to assess how my joints are moving. You guys realize that over half the US population, over 60, can't get up off of the ground if they were to fall. That's what the fire department's for, right? Call, get you up off the ground. Well, there's no reason for that. We're pretty much lazy in how we do things. We have comfy chairs, couches, recliners to help us get up. We need to do body assessments to assess not only our strength, but our mobility. And this functional squatting position is a great way to see how you're feeling. Assess how your ankles, knees, and hips are feeling. If you can do that on a daily basis and get up and down from this, then you're never gonna have to call somebody to help you get up off the floor. And you're also gonna start seeing if you do have some joint mobility issues in your ankles, knees, and hips. Aging is just a number, but it's up to us to take care of ourselves, improve our body postures, improve our mobility so that our muscles can function properly. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this video today. Please subscribe to our channel. Leave some comments if there's any other topics you would like us to do, but we're gonna start doing more functional movements and have a series going from head to toe. Thank you for watching today. Talk to you soon.